Welcome, Willie. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me.
Fellow podcaster.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's funny being on the other side.
It's
Actually.
weird, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So good. So tell us a bit about it. Fresh Money.
Fresh Money. Yeah, it's obviously a podcast about money, where we talk about everything about it, really, because there's a bit of stigma around talking about money. There's a taboo around it, especially in Pacific and Māori circles. Like, we don't really talk about it because I suppose it kind of comes from a good side of the culture, and that we're pretty relatively humble. Like, it's just like, hey, stay humble. Don't really talk about that. And so we end up not talking about it at all, type thing. Yeah. And so that's what the podcast is about, and its vision is just to help people talk about it so we can kind of get better at using it and helping ourselves kind of achieve our financial goals. Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, I reckon it's not isolated to one specific part of the community either, right? Like, it can be uncomfortable.
Yep.
And so I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not going to get uncomfortable, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Hard.
I wonder where it comes from, that discomfort around money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like, it could be how, like, it's part of your worth, right? Like, you go to work and your energy and yourself is there to earn this amount of money. And then you're like, cool, I'm kind of worth that much. And so I don't want to talk about it, whether I earn a lot or whether I earn little. I just prefer to keep that to myself. Yeah.
Could be that. Yeah. That
Well,
makes
what do you
sense.
reckon?
Well, I reckon there's probably so many different parts, but I think one would be the comparison to others and how you feel and your identity, right? And
Yep.
I guess, success or progress or however you want to frame that. I don't know, probably your childhood and how you were brought up as well, right? Like, if you're in a household where it's normal, then therefore it's probably going to be normal for you. But
Big time.
for me, it wasn't like a negative talking about money when I grew up, but it was definitely a subject or like a philosophy of no waste. Like, it was a philosophy of like, we're not going to be abundant. Like, we're going to really be cautious and conservative, mindful of it.
Nice.
So I definitely feel that's come through to present day, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you're on a mission, an education mission.
Yep. Essentially, kind of kicked off last year, June last year. We kind of launched the first of 12 episodes last year. And the kind of feedback was really, really good. Everyone was like, oh, I've never really had someone who kind of looked like me talking about money in a public kind of arena. And then, a lot of people kind of jumped on board and were super supportive of it. So, and it's kind of grown ever since. And then this year we've launched just a couple of weeks ago, the kind of second season of it.
Yeah, nice. And how have you found it since, like, starting like that very first episode versus, say, the last one that you recorded?
Yeah, like just growing. Like, it's just light years apart. When I watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was useless. Now I'm less useless. So like, you grow a lot, and as long as you have the, I suppose, mindset, it's just all about learning and enjoying the process. You look back and go, actually, I could probably do this a bit better. I should probably not say so many or like, I should be more prepared. And then, you just kind of get better each and every single time. Still making mistakes today. I'm still like, cracking up in the halfway through a podcast and then everyone's laughing. So it's still fun. Yeah.
It's so good. Did you win an award?
Yes, we did at the New Zealand Podcast Awards last year. It was kind of super surprising because I was like, I was into, we've only just started, and then we ended up winning the Best Business Podcast, and then we won silver for Best Pacific and Māori Podcast and silver for Best Education Podcast.
That's amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
That's so good.
Crazy. And I was glad I was okay with winning silver for the Education Podcast, because the podcast that came first was the Sharesies podcast.
Right.
And I was like, okay, okay, fine. You can have that, Shizzies.
It's small little business,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You're $1 million business. That's fine. You can have
Totally.
that. So,
Yeah. Interesting. Who do you look to for good inspiration for podcasting?
yeah. So before I kind of started, I'm a bit of a research guy. And so I kind of watched and listened to as many podcasts as I could. But in terms of like having a formula or plan or model, Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, he's obviously, one of the best in the world. But yeah, I pretty much watched every podcast, all of his behind the scenes stuff, all of his social media stuff, and I was kind of modeled it off that. Yeah, but obviously in my own style. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes to the nth degree, right? With that 1% theory,
Yeah.
optimization, and
Yeah.
measurement, and
And
everything.
experimentation, not afraid to fail.
Yep.
That's probably the key part, is like he's not afraid of making mistakes. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I can adopt that mentality and go, hey, this is just one big educational learning process.
Yeah, and I guess that's my take on it. It's taking inspiration from, say, here, there, and wherever else, and sort of mixing it all together and developing your own thing.
Your own flavor, eh?
Yeah, totally.
Because
Yeah.
we all can't be the same. And
No, and nor would you want to try and replicate anyone, right?
That's right.
I look at say like Joe Rogan, and I've always referenced his podcast because it's so conversational. Yeah, it's just having some chats, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love his style. But it is very different to Stephen Bartlett's, but I don't feel like I could be as free flowing as him. I don't think I'm that confident yet.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's a good point though. They're totally polar opposites, right? Like a ton of pre-planning,
Yes.
science, optimization versus just like having some total casual chats.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, interesting,
Totally.
right? Just take a quick moment to say thank you to one of our sponsors, Gerard's Insurance. I am a Gerard's customer and I am absolutely thrilled to be working with them. They're speedy, efficient, and they just get it done. So get in touch with Gerard's. You won't regret it. Where do you think the industry is heading? Like that's something that I'm curious to hear your thoughts on.
Well, if we look overseas, like it's massive overseas, and typically we're 5 years behind everyone else, or maybe even longer. So I think the industry here is still emerging, even though there is heaps of podcasts out there. I think it's still starting. It's in the beginning phase. I think could be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess as technology makes things more accessible, maybe it will become easier, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. With all the AI and stuff like that coming out. I might not even need to be on a podcast.
Maybe
I could just
not.
make one.
Well, that's true as well, right? Like there is tech for that, so that's concerning. But I think it's a good way to develop personal brand, tell stories, connect with an audience.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of positives, right?
Yeah, and I think the format is really like interesting, like because it's conversational, and I know for Pacific, it really hits into what we call talanoa. So talanoa is where we sit down on a traditional mat in our traditional houses, or it doesn't have to be in that format, but we just sit down and just talk about everything, and we talk about nothing. And it is very similar kind of platform or layout to a podcast. And I think that's why, I've had quite an early kind of uptake is because of that. Yeah, because it resonates. It's like familiar. Yeah.
Interesting. And does that tie into the way that stories have been passed down? And
big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Because it's a very, like the knowledge base is oral. Like, stories being brought down from generation to generation. That's just how knowledge was passed on as opposed to books and writing. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So, it really fits.
So it's like a modern iteration of like generations of storytelling.
Yeah, big time.
Very cool.
Big time.
Yeah.
And it's authentic as well, because, there's nothing like a couple of people talking, over a table. So
Yeah. How do you structure yours? Are they pretty well structured, or how do you do it?
They're pretty structured. Like it kind of does follow a Pacifica Māori kind of lens. Like I do kind of ask people about their kind of whakapapa, like where people are from, who they are, because that it builds connection. And it's like, cool. Oh, I know where they live. Oh, I know their river. Oh, I know that mountain. Sweet.
Yeah.
I can connect with that, and then that kind of lays the foundation for the discussion.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then from there on, I just go through their journey, their highs and lows, through business or money, family, and then I kind of yeah. So there is a similar flow.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I'm still working on that exact rhythm. I feel like there's value in structure, but there's also value in totally freestyling and just seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
So I think it's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. How do you kind of structure yours?
Well, I don't. And rightly or wrongly, I feel like there's probably some value for the argument to structure, but I don't know. It felt like in the past when I've tried to create that, it's led to more of an interview style, which I don't like. I don't really enjoy that. I'd prefer to have a bit more back and forth, or a bit more like, I don't know, just going with the flow. But I think having some pillars would be helpful. And often those pillars do relate around the general themes that are the basis of the podcast, right? So like business, fitness, lifestyle, like professional and personal growth, money to an extent, or wealth creation. I mean, I guess that is the name of it, right?
Yes.
The 10 million in 10 years podcast. So that's definitely been deprioritized, but those are the sort of common themes.
I suppose you do have it, like, but it's in there and then it just flows out.
It's a good point. Yeah. I I've got some stuff here, but it's really just for show. What do you think's next for you? Like, what do you think's the next couple of years look like?
So like with it, like you can have a 5-year business plan, right?
Yeah.
But you actually don't know what's going to happen.
It's like a best guess, right?
Yeah. What I hope happens is quite different. Like I would love Fresh Moni to be like Forbes, like that's the goal. That's the North Star, is to kind of connect everyone kind of financially with financial kind of news, education, whether it be podcasts, and talk about money, business, finance, and kind of have it all in one hub. Yeah. That would be. That's my North Star. That's where I'm heading.
I love that.
But baby steps,
step
by step.
Yeah, and I guess like even money, it's quite a broad topic, isn't it? If you break it down into like day-to-day transactional stuff, you got budgeting, you got lending, you got investments, you've got wealth creation, you've got
there's so
the business bit
much to talk about. Yeah. Because and money kind of like flows through so many facets of your life. Like you're saying, budgeting, debt. But and then business, because business is a massive topic in itself. So
and then the psychology of it all, and limiting beliefs, and the people that you hang around with, like it's definitely something of interest to me. Like I've read a number of different books on it, and it's, I don't know, it's fascination, right? I guess it's a measurement of a lot of things, other than what it can do, but and then I talk about like wealth as well, and wealth as being different from money. Like that's my kind of final question that I ask all my guests, is like, what does wealth mean to you? And a lot of people don't even talk about money. They talk about it being freedom, the choice to do whatever I want, family, being with loved ones, that's being obviously health as well. Yes, yeah.
And so there's that whole side to money that I talk about too. Yeah. So there's such a big span there.
Big gamut, yeah. I remember I had this guest on here back last year, and it was so confronting and memorable. He asked me about the challenge. He asked me about why I'm doing it, and I essentially answered with something along like it's freedom for me. Like I want like the freedom aspect of it. And he's like, this is someone with 8-figure plus net wealth, so he's ticked off the challenge, right? And he's like, look, trust me, it's not freedom. It's not what you think it is. And it just hit me because he's not speculating. He's coming at this from a place of actually having done it. And he's like, look, it's not bad, but just be mindful that it was at one of his properties, and there was a few things in the background, right? Some expensive cars and that. And he's like, look, these are not freedom. Like, these are things that require work. You know, like they need maintenance, they need looking after. There's fear of loss. There's a lot of different things that maybe a lot of people don't understand, and it just was one of the more impactful episodes for that reason.
Yeah, it's a big like myth, eh?
Well,
in a way, like when you're going after it,
so.
you think it's going to be this, but then it ends up being like a whole much more responsibility. You just have to be more responsible for all the things that come your way, like the business people you hire in that business. Like you are responsible for those people,
yes,
for their well-being, for their income.
Yeah,
even the cars, the house you get, you have to maintain it.
Yes, aka the opposite of freedom.
Yeah,
right.
It's the reverse of the thing you were after.
Yeah, and I think this is why
it's like they tricked me. You tricked me.
But we all know that it doesn't equal happiness, right? I think most people can probably agree on that.
Yeah.
If you're really honest, right? It doesn't equal happiness. There's like a layer directly beneath that, which is obvious, I think. Yeah. But you know, I guess conversations like this and like your podcast and other content, I think it does help create more awareness, which is great, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And especially when you can get to a practical level.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like with money, like there's a whole like span of reasons why you want to learn about money. Like in the beginning, if you have no money, the goal is to get money and to feed your family, to just do the basic stuff, right? And then over time, your goals will change. It's like, actually, I've got that. I've got this. Why am I doing this for now? Is it just to make more money? For what?
For what? Yeah.
So I can actually hang out with my family more, or so I can live a peaceful, or so I can help my extended family, or so I can help people who don't know how to do this. Yeah. So your values for money and your purpose for it will change over time as you change. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Have you heard that parable about the Mexican fisherman? I was hoping you'd heard it because I don't want to have to butcher it because I probably will. But essentially, it's the story of a fisherman that takes out some, wealthy business people, and the business people are like, like if you were to increase your efficiency and like borrow some money and like scale this business, like think about it. You could have like a fleet of fishing boats, and like you could grow this business and you could market and you could make more money and blah blah blah, right? And then the fisherman's like, and then what? And then he's like, well, then I guess you could retire and like go live on a beach and take people fishing all day. And then like the penny drops, right? He's like, he's already there. Yeah, he's done it. So it's a good story, and it's probably better documented elsewhere. But the gist
you
is
did well, man.
The gist is why, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I had Naomi Ballantyne on the podcast, and so she had built 3 insurance companies, life insurance companies, and she sold the last one for $1 billion. And she was just like, I asked her like, what does wealth mean to you? And it's just like choice, It's just the ability to help my family and care for people.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Probably got a couple of $100 million sitting in the bank, and that's what you say is important.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, you've been to the $1 billion mountaintop that a lot of people aspire to. Everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people want to create a unicorn, and she did it, and she was like, hey, this is actually what's important. It's like, yo.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty monumental goal to tick off, right? Yeah. Not many can claim that.
Nah.
Especially in New Zealand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
have you got a favorite money book or two? Anything come to mind? Like any like go-to if someone's like, you know what? I really want to lean into this.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people have, kind of in business have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think that was kind of a foundational one in terms of understanding and shifting my mind from time for money type thing. Like just going to work, getting paid an hourly wage.
Yes.
That there's always going to be a cap on that. And then if you had your own business or created your own business, there isn't one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I suppose that there were other ways of creating wealth through property or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Whereas I had always thought, getting a good job, I was at the bank for ages, and sweet, I'm done, I've made it. This is it.
Yeah.
I'm at the pinnacle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, and that book kind of opened my eyes up to go, there's more out there.
Great book. Yeah. Oldie but a goodie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's in Rich Dad Poor Dad or if it's in one of the other ones in that same author, but the quadrant, he talks about the
I think it is
different parts to the sort of cycle, right? Like I think it's employed, self-employed, business owner, investor,
That's
right?
the one.
Yeah. I come back to that
book
quite often, and just that progression.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
But there's no shortage of content out there. And so that's why I ask if you had a favorite go-to. Yeah, because sometimes it's about distilling it down, right? Like there's no shortage of information. So where do you start? Yeah.
But then the other book I read all the time is the Bible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm a Christian. But I study the Proverbs a lot. So they're written by the most wisest person apart from Jesus in the Bible, a guy called King Solomon. And he is writing everything in there from what he did with money, where he got money, what it did for him, and how he could make it grow. But it goes super deep on a lot of concepts that are being talked about today.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. What's the overall sentiment? I'm not really I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but
essentially the overall thing is that the purpose of them is for anyone who wants to become wise. If you read this book, you can become wise. If you are simple, you don't have to stay there.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Because wisdom is everywhere. It shouts from history books. It shouts from people. Everywhere you look, you can learn from something. Yeah.
I guess the flow on from that is that it's almost useless without implementation or action.
Yeah, true.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you come across people occasionally that they're just pumped on all these books and content, and like they've just gone through the process, but there's not a lot of action and there's not a lot of follow through. And
well, you're actually talking about the Bible there again, man.
Right. Okay. Well,
there's a saying, or there's words in that faith without works is dead.
Right. Okay.
So you can believe something, but without action, it won't happen.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Yeah. And I mean, hey, I'm guilty. Like, it's actually really hard.
Same.
It's easier said than done, right?
Yeah. Hard.
Yeah. And often there is definitely that friction point, that like tipping point where you're like, oh, doing the thing is actually quite hard.
Yeah. It's the action taking consistently.
Yeah.
That will get you going forward.
Very easy to talk theoretically. Have you read or come across a book called Die With Zero? Nah, it's a recent one. I've just started reading it this week, and it's talking about the concept or the idea of living a life, and I'm only just at the beginning, so this might not summarize the book, but essentially not doing the traditional approach, which is to like work hard and like work your whole life saving, being conservative, squirreling away to the very end, and then like getting to the point where you can't actually spend it, enjoy it, and create experiences that you're going to...
I've seen that too, actually.
And it's really quite, it's cool, because I think we'll kind of know that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but just seeing it and listening to it in those terms has been really helpful.
Yeah, because you still should enjoy, the labor, right? I mean, the fruits of your work.
Yeah.
Because you worked hard.
There's a balance there, right? Yeah, you don't want to...
Yeah, like once again, it depends what stage you're at. Like if you have no money or like no food, you shouldn't be spending everything. Like you should be saving it. But as you get wealthier, then you have options to
enjoy it a bit. Yeah. Like don't get to like 70 and be working 12-hour days still, and like trying to go from a a 500 millionaire to a 600, like that's sort of the extreme example. So yeah, quite enjoying it.
True.
Yeah, and then he talks about hourly rate as well, right? So like if you've got a high paying job, but you've got to work 16 hours a day, you know, the actual effective rate might not be as good as what you think.
Yeah,
So yeah, quite enjoying it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know, it's good to take like these different bits and pieces, I think, from everywhere, and
Yeah.
a bit like the podcasting, right?
Yep.
Take everything, and
Like every guest who's come on, I don't know about you, but man, I've learned. I'm still learning, you know.
100%.
I'm just like, wow, I didn't think about that. Oh, cool. I'm going to take that bit of knowledge.
Totally. Yeah, you've had some interesting guests, eh? Yeah.
Like even who was it? Te Kahukura Boynton, the Māori millionaire.
Oh, yes,
that was the
yeah.
last episode we released, and you know, it sounds like common sense, but like I go, oh, so how did you grow your audience and get it to on Instagram is 25,000. She has a big mailing list, and she said I just posted every day for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I was like, what? She was like, yeah. You know, she just took action every single day.
Yeah, just
for 2 years.
Consistent action.
And that's what will do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like common sense, eh? Until you're like, nah, it can't be.
What's that saying? It's not hard, or it's easy. No, it's simple. It's not easy. Yeah, it's simple.
True.
It's not easy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember I saw she was recently on, and I remember coming across her way back a couple of years ago when she had virtually no following, and so it's pretty wicked to see that journey.
Crazy.
Just goes to show what you can do in a couple of years, right?
Yep.
With dedicated focus, consistency.
Yep.
All that stuff. Any other guests stick out?
Obviously, Dave Letele.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was the first episode this year. Man, he is a force, eh?
He's good.
He's just like his energy.
Yeah.
You can just feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, shivers.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of like. I don't get too. I still get nervous when I come to do the podcast part, but when we're kind of mucking around in the background, just kind of talking, I'm quite relaxed. But you know, he was just like, well, like I don't know what it was.
On.
Yeah. It's just like, he just had the force around him or something. Yeah.
Quite contagious, isn't it?
Yeah. You just kind of like feel good. You feel 100%. Pumped, and you're just like, I don't know why I feel good.
Amazing though, isn't it? How that can transfer over. Yeah, I met with the guy earlier in the week, and same thing. I was just like left feeling so pumped up. I was like, holy moly, like that was just that was insane.
You just feel encouraged for whatever reason.
Big time.
It's like, man, I can go and do some stuff today.
Yeah, totally. And what do you do when you're not podcasting?
By day, I'm a mortgage advisor.
Yeah.
So that's my actual full-time job.
Yeah.
Been a mortgage advisor for 7 years. And then prior to that, I was in banking. So yeah, I love that space. I love helping people purchase their first homes. That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Yep. So kicked off the company this year.
Oh yeah. Just this year. Yeah. Nice.
So.
And what was it like leaving the bank, leaving a stable?
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like, you get used to the golden handcuffs of fortnightly salary. You're just like, oh my gosh, am I ever gonna like get that back? But I suppose what I'd say to anyone who's leaving their corporate role to go and start their own business is like, just leave well, like leave on good terms. Just so if whatever happens, you can come back. Yeah, I think it's just protecting that downside is like
totally.
Yeah, because you got to give it a go.
Yeah,
you got to give your business, your dream a go. But yeah, it's pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie to anyone.
Yeah. Did you have any moments where you're like, what have I done? Have I made the right decision?
Yep. Yeah, a lot the first year.
Yeah,
because like you go from, what was I on 90K, 80, 90K, and then you go to 35K your first year, and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to feed my kids?
Yeah.
But then you just get to work, consistently.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going. People get to know you. They tell other people, you just look after the person in front of you.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do and focus on is help that person, and then they tell other people.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, great approach. Yeah. It's definitely not for everyone, is it?
Nah,
No.
nah. You have to have, well, you don't have to fully believe in yourself, but you have to have some sort of belief in yourself, because belief can come later as you grow and you start getting evidence that you can make it. Because that was probably my biggest question, is like, do I have what it takes? Yeah. Do I have what it takes to make this business work? Or do I have what it takes to feed my family? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those are the pressures that come in on you as a husband, as a father, to provide. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wearing a lot of different hats and running the course, I guess, staying optimistic. Yeah. Yeah. One of my fascinations is just hearing people's story, right? Like, what did it look like? You know, what was that turning point? When did you make the leap, or have you always been entrepreneurial, or just what did it look like? You know, it seems to be an interesting mix, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, it was I kind of had enough of the corporate world, like, because you can do well, like in the bank. So I was in the bank for like, I think it was 11 years. Finished up and started as a teller, just doing withdrawals, deposits. But to be honest, I didn't know how to talk to people.
Right.
I put a post on Instagram the other day that talking to people, this is ironic. This is how ironic it is. Like, talking to people was my biggest fear. Like, my biggest fear. Like, this could never happen.
Wow.
And back in, you know, was it 17 years ago?
Wow.
This could never happen. I would just sit here. You would have the worst guest ever. I would sit here. I'd be afraid. I'd probably be covered in sweat, and I'd be looking for the door. And
Really?
like, so are we done?
Wow.
Can I go now?
Yeah.
I was just afraid of people. Didn't know how to talk to people, but I'd always wanted a career in finance. I don't know why. I understood economics at school, so I took it in third form, and I just got it. I just understood what was happening, what inflation was, and it just came to me easily. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I understand how the world of money and finance work. And then, so I always wanted that career. And then when I got a job at the bank where I had to talk to 30 new people every day to do their withdrawals, their deposits, I had to actually sell them stuff too.
Right. You're in the deep end.
Yeah. I got thrown in the deep end. And I would be like, but the thing at the bank is they give you scripts.
Right.
I had no idea they did that. Like, this was, 17 years ago when everyone wasn't aware that banks were selling to them.
Right.
We were selling full time. Like, they had sales. The sales kind of machine in banks is insane.
Yes.
It's one of the most efficient sales machines you'll ever hear of.
It's dialed.
That you won't hear about. Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was, so they had a script, and people would come up, and I was, good morning, mister, and they would swipe their card, and all their details would come up on the screen.
Do you reckon, just on a tangent here, do you reckon that that's one of the reasons why they're so profitable?
Big time.
Is that they're so sales focused?
Yep.
And
they used to be sales focused, but they're not allowed to be now.
Right. They've got to be a bit more.
But they're just good at it now.
Yeah. Because, I mean, as you say, no one really thinks of the bank necessarily as a sales machine, right?
Not back then. Not back then. Yeah. But their processes were unreal. Yeah. They had, every manager was a sales coach, and you had a buddy, and then they had sales managers as well. It was probably a normal thing in a lot of businesses, but in the banking, it wasn't really heard of from your average kind of consumer.
Yes. Yeah. Have you applied a bit of that ethos into your business? Yeah. The process-driven stuff.
Yep. The habits that you learn there, because you're doing it 30 times a day, every day, you're talking to someone. And then the next day, you're doing scripts again, role plays, the stuff everyone hates. Like, cool, we're going to do a role play. Everyone hates it.
So true.
Let's do a role play. It's like, nah, it's going to get you.
Let's
like,
not.
It's like the All Blacks. Like, hey, let's go to training. It's like, nah, we hate that. We're not going to do training. We're just going to rock up and play the game.
Yeah.
Whereas in the banking, it's like, nah, we're training every morning.
Wow.
And we're going to review that every night. What did you do? Training every morning. Review that every night. We're going to observe you. Do this interaction with a customer, help them, but you're helping them. These are the benefits. It's going to make you money, save you money, save you time, convenience. Yeah, those are all the benefits that, hey, this is what a bank provides to customers. So you need to do that in your script, in your pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's left to chance, the sales part, at least in small business. And I think that's one of the things I've noticed is that the ones that seem to grow the fastest, do the best, most profitable, scale best is the ones that really place an emphasis on sales, prospecting.
Yep.
And not just an emphasis, but a system for it, like doesn't have to be advanced, but it has to be consistent, easily followed. So yeah.
So that's where I learn all my kind of sales skills from, and I still use them today, even in the podcast, I'm kind of following people up. Hey, how you going? Like, and then, in the bank, ask for the referral. Like, hey, do you have a family member that I could help? I'm so stoked that, you've got your house. Glad we could help you with that.
Yeah.
Do you have a friend or family who's doing this similar thing? Love to help them too.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And it's just natural. It's just ingrained in the flow. Yeah.
But obviously you're helping them too. So that the process helps you help them because you want to help them.
And you look good. I win. Everyone wins. We're all winning.
You get what you want. You've got your house. Yeah. And you're covered with insurances. Your accounts are all set up, internet banking sorted. You're happy. Yeah.
I think that's vastly underestimated.
Yep. Having a process, but that's just ingrained now. Yeah. And I do it probably without even thinking. Yeah. But I am grateful to the bank for that.
From a prospecting standpoint, like outreach, does that fear you? Does that cause fear?
Still does.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of normal, to be human. But once you kind of, flick the switch and you go, actually, this is for business. I'm going to help people. You switch the focus into how many people I can help today.
Yeah. That's a good reframe. Yeah. Because often the downside's not actually very bad.
Yeah.
Right? Like worst
exactly.
case scenario.
Exactly. You're going to say
not
no.
interested,
Or like, oh, no, not right now. Can you call me in a month's time or 2 months' time?
Yeah.
As long as you call them back in that 2 months' time.
Well, that's it, and if it, and that ties into the integrity piece, right? Like just doing what you say you're going to do.
Exactly.
And closing those loops. That's a big thing I'm focused on at the moment. It's just ensuring that things aren't left half complete or 90% complete.
Super important.
Fundamentals, Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Like they should be pillars of every business. Like
I think so.
Shows who you are.
Totally.
Like you're saying integrity.
Yeah. What else would you say from a sales standpoint? What else would you characterize as a important trait or something that you've learned, a philosophy?
Yeah, I think it's people buy off you because they like you. Yeah, so that rapport building is like rule number one. Yeah.
So true.
Like just talk to them.
Yeah.
Ask them what they're up to, what do they do, what they enjoy about it. I think it's about asking the right questions,
Yeah.
just to build rapport.
Relationship, yeah. And then I guess it depends on who you're selling to or trying to do business with too, right? Like if it's a individual, I think it's probably quite different than a business. It's probably a little bit less. Well, I guess it's still people at the end of the day though, isn't it? And I think it's still pretty hard to sell or do business with someone that is not likable.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to align,
There's got to be alignment. Yeah. I think that's a really key word.
Yeah. I think I know I forgot when I first started, I was just like kind of desperate guy, It's like, oh, you need help? I'll help you.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, anyone else? I'll help all of you.
Yeah.
But then you realize not everyone has the same values.
No.
And
no, and truth be told, you don't want to work with everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's an interesting shift though, isn't it?
Yep.
When you can flip it around from let's do business to let's see if there's alignment or let's see if there's a way to work together.
Yeah, fully.
Sort of disarms it for everyone, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've had some good success recently just with meeting new business owners and people that, could either be a podcast guest or a coaching client or maybe there's some other way to work together. I reckon
Yeah.
it has been an absolute game changer for me. It's
Yep.
taken a lot of the pressure off and just made it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's like, hey, if you're not
nice.
up for coffee, like it's all good. Like
Yes.
I don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
you know, no's all right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
I
think
can
there's-
handle no.
yeah, and there's always going to be a percentage of no, right?
Yes.
And I totally get it. Because on the other hand, if someone's trying to, like sell me something or maybe trying to get my time, sometimes I'll say no. So I totally understand it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's,
nice.
That's a good mindset shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, things I wasn't aware of in the start. I was like, oh, wish I knew that.
Yeah. And I guess sometimes it's just a rite of passage, isn't it? It's just figuring it out and like sort of going through that process and finding your own style and values and just what it looks like.
Yeah, because I have a completely different style to other mortgage advisors, podcasters, but I think it's important that we do, you know, it provides flavor for the world that we're all different, you know.
100%. Yeah. I met someone recently and like they just sort of flipped a few things around in my head, right? It was around that realization that you can have fun as well. Like it doesn't have to be super serious.
Yes.
And I can be prone to go into that mode,
Yeah,
right?
nice.
Like, but it was cool having like that reminder that you can be playful and like you I don't know.
I'm too much fun.
Oh, you're too much fun?
Yeah, I'm too much fun guy.
You're not serious enough?
Yeah, I'm not serious enough. Oh, yeah. But I am serious about service.
Of course.
Yeah. Because like I am this playful kind of jokey kind of guy.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually I'm providing you a service, I'm 100% there.
I'm dialed in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
I'm getting it done. Yeah.
I'm here for you. I got your back.
I like that. Yeah. I like the whole sentiment about leaning into your own values and your own personality. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway I've noticed lately.
Nice.
Is just trying to find your own things that are important.
Yeah.
Not trying to replicate anyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is always a temptation to copy people.
Totally.
Because you can see it like, oh, that works.
That
Sweet.
works. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
I'll just do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Do you have with the business with mortgage brokering, do you see expansion on that side, like building a team?
Yeah. Yep. Love to.
Nice.
Yep. Love to bring on some advisors in the next kind of 6 to 12 months.
Yep.
Not in a rush. But yeah, I'd love to do that and build a team. Like,
Nice.
Just to be able to, I suppose, coach and kind of lead and help and support.
Yeah.
I think that will be kind of what I would enjoy going forward. Yeah, the most. I think what you enjoy changes. It's like, cool. Yeah, I still love first home buyers, but now I'm starting to see like, actually, I really enjoy seeing people grow. Yeah. Like, oh man. Yeah. When you win, I win type thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Yeah. And that's good leverage too, right? Good leverage over your time.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think is the most important attribute or characteristic of a business owner / entrepreneur?
Got to believe in yourself, eh?
Believe in yourself, yeah.
And believe, like, have some sort of belief. Well, it can be in yourself, can be in your family, can be in your faith. But yeah, some belief that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
Whether this succeeds the way I want to or it crashes and burn, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah. I like asking that question because there's a number of different answers that you could interchangeably use, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, that would probably be the most important thing because it's the thing that challenged me the most. Yeah. Like when I'm going to do a podcast, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. Oh, it's going to be all right. So I'm just talking to people. Just going to talk to someone, just casual conversation. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or when, this home loan is not getting approved. It's going to be okay. We're going to find a way. Or when customer rings up, oh, what happened here? I'm like, hey, it's going to be okay. I'll look for the answer. Or I'll find the solution. It's going to be okay.
It's going to work out. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Yeah.
What about you?
It's a bit like the whole not worrying about the mountain ahead, like just worrying about the next step, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Because I think sometimes you can get ahead of yourself, right?
Yep.
But if you just believe in that ability to make that next step, than, just one after the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, man, I reckon personal likability, emotional intelligence, the ability to relate, the people skill side of the business, I think very similar to what we're saying about sales, and just I think if you don't have that, you're really going to struggle.
Yep.
I think there's people that have overcome it, but I don't know. I just feel like that's
True.
the top of mind answer.
True.
It could change next week, or
Yeah.
yeah. But that's my answer.
People
for
don't
now.
like you, man. It's tough.
Like
It's gonna be
being
tough.
understand humans, and just, I don't know, being able to work with people. I think that's the big thing. And whether that's from a recruitment standpoint or a selling standpoint, service standpoint,
Yeah.
I think it's just the overarching thing that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
And if you don't understand people, I think it's going to be a real battle. Yeah. Like you can be the best technical mortgage broker in the world, but if you're
True.
unlikable dude,
True.
it's going to be just hard work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fully.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, I like that.
The other backup answer would be the ability to sell. Yeah. Because without that, nothing happens, right? So like it or not like it, you got to be able to do it.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
It's like the definition of a business,
because we're all selling.
100%.
We're selling to everyone.
Yeah.
Not just your customers, your stakeholders, your family to some degree. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You got to sell the idea, right? Sell the vision.
This is what I'm doing.
Totally. Yeah.
Because they have questions that will kind of knock away at your doubt, right? And you're like, actually, I have to sell to myself too. Nah, I'm going to be good. This is what we're doing. This is the vision.
And that's the belief coming back again, isn't it? Yeah, believing in yourself. One of the biggest things I've had to figure out lately is just getting over that fear of rejection and just asking the question, right?
Yeah.
Like the worst thing that can happen isn't generally that bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
Work in progress, but getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That disappointment too,
Yeah. Yeah. Managing that.
Lost that deal.
100%. Yeah.
Dang. And that was on me. Dang.
But again, having such that focus on sales and keeping the funnel full, it sort of takes away the sting, I think, of losing, right? If you've got a full funnel, if your deal board's full, then, it sucks not getting a deal, but also, oh, well, there's plenty more. Just keep going.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have that mindset there.
But it's all just mastering this, or trying to.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Difficult as it may be sometimes.
It's crazy that it is all in your head.
Yeah.
Like that you put the limits on yourself, that you can make it grow like yourself. Yeah. By the way you think.
Yeah, yeah. One of these other concepts or things that comes up often is just this concept of time and time management. We've all got the same amount of time in a day.
Yes.
There's all these choices, right?
Yeah.
Where do you spend it? Where do you devote it? Like the visual analogy of a physical amount of chips on the table, right? Like the 24 hours in the day, but 24 chips. Like, where do you put them? Do you put them into work? Do you put them into family, fitness, leisure? Where do you allocate them? And every day you get a new set of chips.
Yeah, true.
Pretty cool, right?
It is.
When you think about it like that.
It's really good.
Yeah. So it just comes down to, hopefully making some good decisions. And
yeah. Well, where do I put them?
Just generally, yeah.
Yeah,
sort of
I haven't thought about it in that way,
no.
actually. Because, 8 of them you're going to try and sleep.
Totally.
If you sleep 8.
Hopefully, right? Yeah. Ideally.
Sometimes I'm 6, 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then that affects the rest of the chips. if
That's
I don't
right.
get enough sleep.
That's a good point. Yeah. What about the people you hang around with? Are they typically business owners or a mixture?
Yeah, they are
Friends
actually.
And,
yeah. But to be honest, I actually have it's a pretty small circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm pretty old.
Yeah, you don't look that old.
I'm young on the inside. No.
That's what counts.
But I think just over time, with kids and family, I've kind of gone, actually, this is where I want to spend most of my chips. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so my friends circle is pretty small.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
I only have a couple of close friends.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
most of the time, I'm either in the business or with my family.
Yeah, that's seemingly super common. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
True.
most of the people I work with in the coaching world, or even just like business owners in general that I come across, like generally most people are either business and family, and doesn't really leave a ton of time for too many friends. But yeah, it's just
I think when I was younger and we didn't have kids,
a bit more time available.
yeah,
Right? Yeah, totally.
You could have more people in.
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
But I think I'd prefer now to have like just deeper relationships.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, with small group of people.
Yeah. Do you find that you've evolved or maybe like changed like the friend group over time? Like, do you feel like the people have been consistent, or do you think that like you've made new friends over time?
I think it's been the same actually.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah, same group of friends, but the new friends we've made have a kind of similar ethos. Yeah, similar values. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like we were talking about business before. It's like, do we align?
Exactly.
Yeah, and can we get on? And can we have fun and joke around?
Yeah. I'm just curious because like for me, I tend to enjoy meeting new friends and constantly moving things around, and so like it just comes to mind about like growth and growing at the same rate, or being aligned, and whether you're aligned.
I think it's important to have that element of different people to challenge whether you might be in a bubble or not, because obviously you don't know. But unless you have mentors who can see for you, who you allow to speak into your life,
totally,
and tell you where actually you're not going the right path.
That's it, right? Like being able to see what's on the unknown essentially. I love that concept of not necessarily being able to see what's outside of your own like sort of vision, or you sort of get in your own world and you don't really get the same perspective as an outsider, right?
That's right.
And
and so it's important to have those people, and that you trust them when they can see something that's not going quite right.
100%.
You're like, instead of going, what are you talking about?
Totally.
Like, actually, that person loves me and wants the best for me. I might have to listen here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool, man. So the goal of getting to the Forbes level, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's so good. I love a good aspirational goal like that.
Yeah. Like, you never know, like, even, when I started this, I didn't know I was going to get to where it is today. So who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. But I think, like, we've been talking about kind of consistent action. Like, I think if I, that kind of 1% trying to do things a little bit better each time.
Yeah.
Not going too intense because I'll burn out.
That's it. Yeah.
But consistently grow or get better at a way that's sustainable.
Yeah. Nice.
To me, to my family.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it. Because as you say, if you go too extreme, it just makes things out of whack in other areas, right?
Yeah. It's like me in dieting,
Yeah.
I fall off the wagon when I go too intense.
It's pretty hard to nail that one. Yeah.
So it's kind of like just consistently, bit by bit.
Yes.
Sometimes you do need a bit of a boot camp just to boost you in the right direction.
Yeah.
But then, it's those everyday habits that mean more in the long run.
Have you ever considered, or do you consider that correlation between, like, say, money and, say, diet and nutrition? And just how comparable it is? Right?
Oh, it's big time.
It's crazy,
like,
right?
I think money is kind of the I suppose the values and the knowledge that you can learn from managing money is very transferable to a lot of parts of your life, just in the logical sense. Like, behavior is slightly different because it's more like mental, but the things you learn with managing money well are transferable.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's interesting how you can sort of be so good, either in money or calories, right?
Yeah.
And then blow out, right? You can either, absolutely feast, or you can go buy something completely ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. Big time.
So it's kind of like that long-term action.
Yeah.
Not just.
It's having that vision in the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, what do I want my body or my lifestyle to look like in the future, having it close, but not too like massive that you're like, actually, I have to do it all today.
Yeah. I love that exercise of doing like goal setting and just creating that vision, that like dream state, you know? And it's usually in
so
a
important, eh?
5-year sort of window, 3 to 5 years. So it's not like decades away where it's like abstract, but it's not next week either. And so there's a sufficient amount of time to reach a point that feels pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I just feel like that's a good anchor to come back to.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that North Star idea.
Yep.
So I'm pumped.
Yeah,
Man, that's cool. It's so good to see like positive content that's aimed to create better in the world.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's what we're about. It's just about empowering, kind of encouraging people to kind of achieve their dreams, eh? Yeah, and that a lot of the things they're chasing, they already have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had many positive stories and like real life wins that have happened, like from listeners?
Yep. There's a family who it's on our Instagram page and like who reached out and we got them into their first home.
Wicked.
And they was just like, I'm so glad that we found you on Instagram.
Wow.
So they reached out and we went through the home loan journey with them.
Yeah.
It was
so
like,
cool.
Yeah. And they didn't know that they could have got pre-approved until they saw one of our posts for our podcast. Yeah.
Wow.
But then I went through the process with them. I'm like, you could have been approved like a year ago. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
So crazy. And they were living with another family.
Right.
Yeah. So their family and living with their cousins. So
got it. Yeah.
It's like, so it's crowded housing.
Yeah. Right. Wow. And so you think of like that example and the ones that you have heard of, and then, the dozens, hundreds, thousands of other examples that you may never hear about.
Yeah.
That's pretty satisfying.
Super.
And I guess it's a snowballing effect as well, right? Like the longer the episodes are out for, the more people that are listening.
Yeah, exactly.
The more wins that'll come from it.
And the crazy thing is like because I'm a mortgage advisor, the podcast, like when I help people, like provide them with some knowledge, provide them with education, and then I help them with their actual mortgage, me helping them helps me.
Yeah, totally.
That's crazy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a circle.
Yeah. Because then I get paid by the bank for the home loan.
Yeah, totally. How good.
Random, eh?
Yeah, so good. Man, I love it. Hey, so good sitting down with you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, man.
I'm a huge advocate of what you're doing, positive movement. Like it's just good. There's so many good things that you're doing. So keep doing what you're doing. And Forbes, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, one day, man.
Forbes-level of
one day.
content and brand. That's so good.
Yeah, that's the goal. No, honestly, man, thank you so much. It's been awesome to get to know you and hear your journey too, man.
Sure, man. Appreciate it. Cool. Keep doing what you're doing.